The Pokémon World Championship, the pinnacle event where trainers from all corners converge and where the legends of competitive Pokémon are forged and champions crowned. Hello, I'm Professor Josh, your guide through the intricate history of VGC, and today we're diving into the origins of the Pokémon World Tournament to answer the question, when was the first Pokémon World Championship? And let me tell you, when I started researching for this video, I didn't expect the answer to be so complex. It turns out, everyone has a strong opinion on this, and as you might know, Pokemon fans can make a debate out of anything, can't they? What color is this mudkip, blue or gold? Anyway, finding a clear answer isn't as straightforward as a quick Google search. For example, if you look up the first Pokemon World Championship in VGC, the top result might say 2009. But if you keep scrolling, suddenly you'll find a post claiming that the first Wallards was in 2000. So, what's the deal here? Is the post right? Was 2000 the landmark year for the first official Pokemon World Championship? Not exactly. Let's dive a little deeper and you'll find out why. The mudkip is gold.
A quick heads up. We're going to be looking at footage that existed before Google was even a teenager. So what I'm saying is some of this footage is going to be very, very retro. You've been warned.
Also, a huge shout out to everyone who tuned into my last video. Your continued support does mean the world to me, and if you're new here, I like to make videos about ridiculously niche VGC history such as this one, so if that's your thing, consider subscribing. Thanks. Now let's clear up the confusion. The tournament mentioned earlier was indeed a World Division Video Game Championship. Before 2000, Nintendo's Pokemon tournaments, known as Nintendo Cups, were confined to Japan, but in 2000 they hosted what they dubbed the Pokemon World Championship, accessible to players who qualified through regional events across America, Australia, and Europe. For many competitive Pokemon purists, this was the inaugural Pokemon World Championship, marking the first time an official competitive event left Japan for the international stage. Yet, despite its title, this tournament differed significantly from today's format. It was single battles, where each player could field only one Pokemon at a time from a team of 3, yes, 3, that they were allowed to bring. Moreover, access to this world tournament was not quite as global as it might sound. Excluding Japan, like the capital of Pokemon, and other regions meant that many trainers didn't, and still don't, view it as a true world championship.
So funny story, the world champion that year, Darren Van Vuren, used a team of Chansey, Snorlax, and Alakazam, and we actually know the moveset on the Chansey. It was Thunder Wave, Soft Boil, Seismic Toss, and Minimize. And Minimize is interesting here because in singles, there's a strategy where you use your minimized Pokemon, and because it cannot be doubled up on like in double battles, you have the opportunity to spam Minimize over and over and over again. And Minimize is a move, if you don't know, where every time you press it, your evasiveness raises, so you become harder and harder to hit. So we know Chansey's moveset, but we don't actually know the moveset of his other two Pokemon because in the championship match, he led Chansey and then was like, never forced to switch the Pokemon off the field. Complete Chansey sweep, World Championship. Singles, man. That has got to be so frustrating.
I fear no man, no beast or evil. Brother. Wolf Glick. Hulk Hogan. Easy mix-up though, right? In 2006, to mark Pokemon's 10th anniversary, the Pokemon Company organized its grandest international competition yet. The Pokemon Journey Across America Tour featured local battles in malls throughout the US, culminating in a major video game showdown hosted by none other than Hulk Hogan himself. Yes, seriously. While this was the first major international tournament since the 2000s World Championship, its limitation to just America means it doesn't really qualify as a global competition. The same cannot be said for the 2008 Video Game Showdown. The 2008 Video Game Showdown stands out as the first event that could be in contention for the title of the first Pokémon World Championship. Indeed, 2008 was a huge year for video game competition. The Pokémon Company took notice and introduced a new platform for emerging champions to test their skills against each other. This year, double battles were the name of the game, setting the stage for the competitive format we recognize today. And more importantly, unlike the 2000s World Championship, the series of qualifying tournaments leading up to this event included Japan. So a fun fact about this tournament is that just like tournaments to come, all Pokemon were required to be level 50 in order to be used in official competitive play. However, this was before the auto-scaling mechanism was introduced into the game, which automatically set all Pokemon's levels to level 50 at the start of the match. This meant that Pokemon like Dragonite and Tyranitar, which evolved above the level cap at level 55, were actually straight up banned from competitive play. So there you go. Not a restricted Pokemon, banned from competitive play. Thank you, auto-scaling. Putting auto-scaling aside, there were some notable format differences in this series. Unlike the typical setup where trainers bring 6 Pokemon and choose 4 to battle with, the 2008 Showdown required competitors to bring 4 Pokemon and then use all 4 of them in battle. Also, there were only 2 age divisions, split at the age 13. So those 12 and under competed in the juniors division, while those 13 and older were in the seniors. This setup meant that young competitors, even little Hulk Hogan here, could face much older adversaries. However, the primary reason this tournament is often not recognized as the first true world championship is again limited accessibility. Unlike the 2000s tournament that excluded key regions like Japan, this series restricted participation to just the US and Japan, so it seems like the Pokemon Company may have overcorrected here. Some things never change. This brings us to 2009, the pivotal year when the Pokemon Company elevated the video game series to stand alongside the trading card game. This year, the series was officially renamed from the Video Game Showdown to the Video Game Championships, VGC. This upgrade wasn't just in name, but also in scope, with the expansion of qualifying competitions worldwide and the introduction of nationals, setting the stage for what would later become the International Championships. Players now had a clearer path through regionals and national tournaments to earn exclusive invites to the World Championship. The format was updated to double battles as we recognize it today, where trainers choose 4 out of 6 Pokemon to compete. While matches were still single elimination, unlike today's best of 3, the format was nearly identical to what we see now. Surely this is the one, right? This is the answer we've been working toward the entire video. 2009. I'm sure you can hear the sarcasm in my voice. As a quick aside, the winner of the 2009 World Championship, Kazuyuki Tsuji, was part of a trio of players that the community called the Invincible Trio. And it makes me wonder, why don't we have cool nicknames for our players anymore? I mean, it's really a lost art. And while we're on the subject, I just want to acknowledge that nothing that I'm saying disqualifies the awesome achievements of the players who've won these tournaments so far. Just because I'm saying a tournament doesn't really qualify as a world tournament or a world championship doesn't mean that the players who won these events are anything short of phenomenal. That being said, one of the major principles that the World Championship is built on is that the trainer that wins on that day, in that moment, is truly the best in the world. Sure, there is some luck involved when it comes to Pokemon battles, but the world champion is the person who overcomes all adversity to rise to the very top and to become the best there ever was. However, it's hard to claim the title of the best when the regional tournament necessary to qualify for the World's Championship were based on a lottery system. Imagine being the top player in your region, ready to compete, only to find out that you can't participate because your name wasn't drawn from, Pikachu's hat. The Pokemon Company was still grappling with organizing large-scale events, necessitating a cap on participation numbers, even at the regional level. For many players, it felt like a stroke of bad luck rather than a measure of skill. It's like getting run over by a truck, but then instead of being reincarnated as a super strong, sword-wielding, monster-slaying machine, you're instead brought back as a vending machine. To me, and perhaps to many others, this does not represent the true spirit of what would become the first legitimate video game world championship. That honor, I believe, belongs to 2010. 2010 is widely recognized as marking the first true Pokemon World Championship. This year, built on the previous year's qualification structure, but with a crucial change: the elimination of the lottery system. Now, anyone could enter at the regional level and fight their way to the top of the Pokemon world. Additionally, this year was notable for its restricted format, which allowed powerful Pokemon, usually banned in official competitions, to compete. This meant that fans could watch legendary Pokemon like Kyogre and Mewtwo battle it out. Oh, and by the way, I explore Mewtwo's significant role on the global stage in one of my favorite videos, so check that out, link on the screen and in the description below. With all the format and structural changes solidified, the stage was set for what we would recognize as the Pokemon World Championship. Since 2010, the Pokemon video game series has continued to evolve, introducing new competitors and forging new legends.
Speaking of, if you're like me, you appreciate that the first true World Championship was right here in Hawaii. So for many trainers, this is like a homecoming. I hope you've enjoyed the video so far, and I'm here, so I'm gonna go watch some of the competition live. And with a little luck, maybe find a little history to share with you all later. Wherever you're watching this, thank you for watching. I hope you're having an excellent day. Mahalo.
Pika pika.